Well, hey friends, it's Tracy from Tea Time with Tracy and Friends. Boris is right here. Magda is right there. I'm upstairs at my computer. My computer's a dinosaur, so I'm waiting for it to start up properly, like a program I'm trying to use. Anyways, I thought I would do Squash That Series wrap up. Just a minute, the sun is super bright. Oh, well, hey friends, I forgot to mention in regards to this video what the Squash series is. I was taking part in this readathon. It was put on by Lizzie from Lizzie's Literary Life, Bailey from Bailey Reads It All, and Danielle from Danielle Reads. So I'll have all their links down below. Also, they had a cute little map that we'd follow, and each room had prompts. I forgot to mention the prompts that I use these books for, but I do have a Squash That Series to be read video. So if you are interested in which prompts, just go take a gander at that. But anyways, I just thought I would put that in here to give credit where credit's due, who was hosting this readathon. Usually it's Bailey, but Bailey brought in a couple of reinforcements to help out this year, so I'm so glad they did, and I'm so glad I took part in this, and I accomplished so much. And I just wanted to make sure I put a little blurb in here. So on with the show. All right, this is a little bit better, I guess. I had planned on doing like a vlog. I vlog daily vlogs on my other channel for the most part. I've been struggling lately just because life has been upside down. But the month of May, we've had a lot of changes, a lot of new adventures, and Magda was a new addition to our family. If you don't know who Magda is, she's my new furry baby, Boris's little sister. There's been events, there's been medical appointments with family, and just a whole bunch of things. So I haven't been able to do what I was planning on doing, but I did read a ton of books for Squash That Series. I should say I listened to a lot of books. I only read one physical book with my eyes. The rest I did via Audible or Everand. So I'll just show you the ones that I brought up in my TBR video. Boris, you bumped your noggin. You're sitting on my water cup. My tripod's downstairs. Lasher was the second book in the Mayfair Witches series by Anne Rice, Boris. And I did read this. I love this series. For my June TBR, I'm reading the last book in this series, Teltos. Anyways, this follows a family of generations of witches. Well, it follows generations and generations of this one specific family, the Mayfair family. And there's a supernatural entity, demon, that latches himself onto one particular woman in each generation. From generation to generation. He loves her and he hates her, and he loves her and he hates her. He thinks he's doing good, but really he's not. And it's for his own nefarious reasons. He wants to become tangible, real, a physical being, and things like that. There's a lot of time jumps in regards to, you learn about this whole rich history of the family. Anyways, I adore it. It's very dense. This is 628 pages. This was put out in 1993. This was on my beefcake list. I did listen to this on Everand. This is the fourth book in the Flowers in the Attic series. I forget what it's called. This left me staring at a wall. I don't know whether I love this series or hate it, because the people are so crazy and idiotic and entitled. And if you've read this series, especially in book 3, in this book, Bart, the character Bartholomew, he is a 100% psychopath. And how this book ends, I had to call my sister because we have been reading this together. It left me staring at a wall. It's about a family, another family, an incestuous family. In the beginning, the kids are locked up in the attic. Most of you probably know the flowers in the attic story. There was 4 kids in the beginning, and eventually their father dies, and the mother moves back to her family home, which she was estranged from because she fell in love with her uncle, her step-uncle, and had these 4 babies. And anyways, he passed away, and her and her 4 kids move in to her parents' house again, which is a giant estate. And this family is crazy, and they lock the kids up in the attic because it's taboo, and they're trying to marry their daughter off to a reputable person, and these kids would tarnish her family, and the only way to get the blessings and the back into the will is to do what her parents say. And that's the first book. This is the 4th book. Eventually the kids, for the most part, get out of the attic, and it goes from there. But it doesn't get any better, honestly, in regards to the taboo-ness of this series. Anyways, I loved it, but I hated it, but I loved it, but I hated it. And this left me staring at a wall. I listened to this on Audible. I bought it on a sale. This is book 2 in the Black Farm series. This is an extreme horror. The first book is about this couple that are extremely depressed. They have nothing good. They lost the loss of a child, and they financially and lack of support and everything. They thought themselves, and they'd have the sweet bliss of oblivion. That's not what happens. People that themselves fall out of the sky into this plane for people that have done that, and they are tortured to the extreme. I really enjoyed this series. Although there's extremely gross torture and gore and things, it's almost like an adventure story to me. It really is. I don't know what that says about me, but the whole world, it's like a horror world. And the people that go there, they have to try to escape and hide, and there's no real escape. You just constantly have to be on the go, because if one of those people or monsters from this plane get you, they turn you inside out pretty much in one way or another. Anyways, the first book ends. I can't really tell you what this one is about because these books aren't very big, but yeah, this kind of has a sad ending, but a good ending. It's kind of weird. Anyways, I enjoyed that. So I did an immersion read with this because I had bought this I used one of my credits way back when I first bought this book last year or something. Anyways, this is book 2 in the Cat and Mouse series, Hunting Adeline. The first one is Haunting Adeline. I enjoyed it. It's pretty dark. The subject matter is pretty dark. I wasn't so floored as some people, I guess, but I don't know what that's saying about me. I just read a lot of dark, bleak, disturbing things. This does have like trafficking and things like that in there. There is trigger warnings for any book that I mention on this channel. Please, trigger warnings. There are trigger warnings in here. There's SA, there's different things, murder, there's some gore, there's some, kidnapping and all of that sort of thing. Anyways, this is book 2. Redemption for the most part, but there's still a struggle to get there. But I enjoyed it, and I'm glad I read it. Now, I listened to this on Everand. This whole series, it's a trilogy. I wasn't thinking I was going to get to it. This is book 2. The first one is called 9 Minutes. The second one is Out of Time, and the third one is A Gift of Time. This is an MC romance. I'm not generally into MC, like motorcycle romances. I seen somebody mention this, that it's very dark and it's different. This is a different take on an MC romance that I've ever read. I've only read a handful of different series. However, I really enjoyed this. there's a lot of twists and turns and things I did not see coming. And after I listened to this one, I jumped right into this one so I could actually finish the whole trilogy, so I could mark another series off my list that I wanted to try to finish this year. So that's what I did. This follows, in the first book, there's this young woman, teenager. This is quite taboo too. She is kidnapped. She's 15, 16, from a store on the way home. She's kind of like trying to take care of her family. Her mom and dad are alcoholics and just neglectful parents. They don't take care of her at all. She's an only child. She's the one that kind of takes care of them. And they don't appreciate her whatsoever. Anyways, on her way home from school, she is kidnapped by this guy on a motorcycle, just convinced, oh, I'll drive you home, that kind of thing. Anyways, he drives her to the motorcycle compound, and there she stays. The head honcho of this motorcycle group obviously knew about her for some time, and it was planned to get her, and there isn't any explicit sexual things done to her when she's this young. But there is some stuff in the book, but it's not plastered with that. This is more of a story with little bits of that in it. And again, not super graphic. I really enjoyed that element of this series. And this takes place like in the 70s and 80s. And the way this ended up, I didn't really know how this was going to end. But I like the ending. It's fine. And I'm glad I read this series, because oftentimes I find the MC romances kind of annoying to me. The lingo, and I don't know. I don't think I would personally stand for some of the things, but I've never been in that or been a woman in an MC things. Anyways, I enjoyed this one. It was good. I like two other ones. I like Gianna Darling's one. I like the Tilly Cole one. That can be controversial for some people. I did read a couple in the Amo Jones one. I have a couple of the other books. It's okay. It's not my favorite, but anyways. So I did that. And then last but not least, I think no, there's one more. But I don't have the book up here. I think it's downstairs. I listened to, this is the third book in a trilogy, the Passage series. This is a dystopian vampire kind of series that spans over 200 years, I guess. From the very beginning to the very, very end. The first book is The Passage, the second book is The 12, and the third book is The City of Mirrors. This was the ending, and I adored the ending of this. You follow a handful of, I was going to say students, you follow a handful of characters right from the very beginning book. There is some characters right to the very end. So if you last that long, obviously you're not 100% human, right? There's a whole lot of systematic power struggles between people, between vampires, between people that are not good people, or they're a somewhat hybrid between the two. I can't spend a whole lot of time trying to explain this, but the very beginning book, The Passage, it's like present day, some sort of apocalypse befalls Earth with this government experiment of trying to make superhumans, and they make these vampire-ish kind of people. They're not like Dracula, they're not like Twilight, they're like fast, crazy, don't seem to be thinking whatsoever. But so the first half of the first book is present day, and you follow a couple of characters, a man and a child, and then it fast forwards 75 years and you see what the world looks like then, and it's kind of barren. There are pockets of people in these little communities that they've made to survive, and there's other people trying to branch out from those little communities to see if there's other people in the world and all the bands of good and bad people that they cross and all the different things, and you learn. It's a whole lot of. I really enjoyed it, and the ending was just superb. I would recommend this series. Now I should have said what prompt these went for, but one of the prompts were to binge a whole series. I binged the K.A. Tucker series. That's The Wolf Hotel. I only binged 4 books. I think there's 5. The 5th book is on my June TBR, but I got those off the free Audible library. I don't know if they're free anymore, but I listened to those. That's a Boston employee series about a young woman that her boyfriend, when she's graduated high school, she planned on marrying this fella. He ends up cheating on her and tells her to wait because he needs to sow his oats, which I'm just like, that's disgusting. No way. Anyway, she is from this little farm town. Her parents are really religious, very nice, and love her to bits. But she flies to Alaska to work on this resort just for the season to try to, get over her one and only love. Like, she still has her V card and all that stuff. She was saving herself for her boyfriend and true love, and he's gone and been a jackass and, ruined it all. Anyways, she crossed paths with the CEO of this luxury resort and chain guy, and it goes from there. But I really enjoyed it. If you suspend, like, really, it would turn out that way. But the bit of character development and the pace of the story went well. It does involve a few other characters and, like, her friends and that she makes and other employees in the establishment, and then his family, as toxic as it is, and her family, as religious as they are and protective as they are. I just adored the whole thing. So I will actually finish this series in June because the last book is on my TBR. And another one I binged, Audible, was the rest of the Chronicles of Narnia. I read the first 3 books in the Chronicles of Narnia, and there's 7 books. And each book is like 4 or 5 hours. They're not long. So I just plugged in my earbuds, and over a day, I listened to the rest of the Chronicles of Narnia, the last 4 books. And I had never read all the books. I've seen some of the movies. I love the BBC TV series. But that, so this wraps up a series. 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 For as much as the characters in the first 4 books, the original series of this is the first 4 books. So this wraps up a series in my book. This progresses a series. The K.A. Tucker progresses a series. And the Narnia wraps up a series. So I'm quite proud of myself. This is the only one I read paperback. The rest of them were all audio. And it seems like a lot, but I can listen to audiobooks faster than one because my mind works way faster than the rest of my body combined. And I'm just excited. Oh, I just tried to move my thing, but I would recommend this if you like toxic families. I would recommend this series if you like adventure gore. I would recommend this if you like dark romance with a lot of action and a lot of action and darkness. I would absolutely recommend this MC romance if it interests you. It's free on Everand. I mean, there's a subscription for Everand. This is on Everand Caesar yesterday. Did I listen to that there? I forget. I think that's on Everand. The other ones are not. I would recommend this if you want a nice big dystopian series that, yeah, you really follow along and feel like a big empty world and you're just trying to be a squirrel, trying to get in that, even though there's no squirrels, I don't think so. Anyways, with that, I'm going to say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose, but if not, that's okay too. I still love ya. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every one of you out there. I certainly do. I really, really honest and truly do. Yes, I do. So, okay, guys, with that, I'm going to say have a good night or have a good morning, and I will see you next time. Bye. Boink.